My boss destroyed every man who ever tried to love me. But the darkest betrayal wasn't his. It was mine. And by the time I realized it, the part of me I ignored, the shadow I pretended didn't exist, had already chosen him. My name is Alice Williams, 27. I used to believe invisibility was safety. I kept my head down in a world of polished floors and sharp suits. I worked for Michael Perez, a man so perfectly controlled that people called him elegant, when they really meant dangerous. Most people feared him, some admired him, but he watched me. I remember the exact moment his gaze shifted from professional to something else. It was subtle, like a predator lowering its heartbeat before the strike. His eyes didn't just look at me. They studied the space between what I showed and what I hid. Back then, I didn't question it. I had Marco. Messy, warm, chaotic, human Marco. We had a small life, but it was ours. A future made of grocery lists and secondhand furniture. Nothing dramatic, which is exactly why it felt real. But Michael's presence was a gravity field. Silent, precise. A stillness that made noise feel like a confession. I told myself he was just observant. I wore my persona, the strong enough, unbothered woman mask. But behind it, a suspicion whispered. He never looked at me. He analyzed me. The crack appeared in the smallest form. A receipt. It slipped out of Marco's jacket like it was trying to be found. 2 drinks. A bar he'd never mentioned. Mid-afternoon. On a day he said he was home resting. My body reacted before my mind did. A cold sting at the back of my neck, like a warning from a version of me that remembered danger better than I did. When I asked him, he hesitated, barely half a second, but long enough for my stomach to turn. That pause became a fracture, and fractures grow. A week later, Marco ended things. It's not you, I just need space. His voice shook like he wasn't reading his own script. When the doors shut, it felt rehearsed, like he'd been instructed on exactly how to leave me. I walked into work the next day, trying to look composed, but Michael noticed instantly. He always noticed the cracks. He stepped closer than necessary, breathing in the silence between us. "Rough morning?" he asked, eyes too alive, too interested. Later that week, a coworker who always joked harmlessly with me was transferred to another branch overnight. No warning, no explanation, just erased. That was the first time the thought crossed my mind. This wasn't coincidence. This was control. I brushed everything off as heartbreak paranoia until it happened again. I started seeing someone new. Just a few dates, kind, gentle, the type of man who texts, "Did you get home safe?" and means it. Then one day, silence. Not ghosting. Disappearance. Messages undelivered. Phone disconnected. His social media gone. Vanished like he'd never existed. And the next morning, Michael placed a coffee on my desk with surgical precision. "Long night?" he asked, voice dipped in false concern. Something inside me curled inward. Fear disguised as intuition. That was the moment I realized every man who approached me was being removed. The pattern sharpened. Dinner plans canceled with no reason. Number not in service when I called back. One man even apologized days later, avoiding my eyes. "I just didn't want trouble," he said. "Trouble from who?" He wouldn't answer. Michael would, with his actions. Every time someone showed interest, something in him shifted. A tightening around the jaw, a brief stillness behind the eyes, a hunger he didn't bother hiding. I should have run. But part of me, the part that hated uncertainty, the part that equated attention with safety, leaned toward him. That was my shadow. The version of me that preferred being chosen over being free. One night, half joking but half terrified, I asked him directly, "Are you scaring my dates away?" He didn't deny it. He smiled, slow, calculated. "I look out for my people," he said. My people. Ownership disguised as protection. The worst part? I went to dinner with him that night. I let the illusion of safety pull me in even when every instinct screamed danger. That was my betrayal. Not against him, against myself. Everything snapped into focus the day I saw his phone unlocked on his desk, screen glowing, notifications open, my name inside a message thread, but not with him, with Marco. Lines of instructions, time-stamped, precise. Payment sent. Break up today. Say you need space. Do not deviate. Money transfers, screenshots, updates. He didn't just take Marco away, he bought my heartbreak. My knees almost gave out. There were threads with other men too. Threats, warnings, coordinated disappearances. Michael didn't want my love. He wanted ownership. His motive was clear. A fragile, collapsing narcissism. The kind that can't survive being irrelevant. The kind that sees other men not as people, but as threats to his reflection. When I confronted him, he didn't lie. He didn't panic. He didn't defend. He simply tilted his head, studying my fear like it was art. "Yes," he said softly, "I protected what's mine." I stepped back. He stepped forward. "What about the others?" I whispered. "The dates, the threats, the disappearances." He exhaled with disturbing calm. "I did it for us," he said. "You don't understand yet, but you will." It wasn't delusion, it was conviction, the kind only someone deeply broken could believe. Running would be useless. Exposing him directly would be suicidal. Men like him don't lose. They erase the people who try to make them lose. So I made myself small, soft, predictable. I played the role he needed, the attentive partner, the grateful subordinate, the woman shaped by his approval, all while building my escape behind the mask he loved watching me wear. I documented everything: screenshots, recordings, patterns, threats, transfers, names. Not to destroy him, but to build a cage he couldn't see until he was already inside it. He believed the illusion. The more perfect I behaved, the more control he thought he had, and the deeper he sank into the trap. The night before I left, he asked me a question he had rehearsed 1,000 times. "Tell me you'll never leave me." And I answered with a steady, practiced voice, "I'm not going anywhere." The next morning, I walked into HR with a sealed packet, labeled, time-stamped, undeniable.
"I am here to file a formal complaint regarding these documented instances of harassment and abuse of power."
Financial coercion, harassment, manipulation, abuse of power, interference with employees' personal lives. In a world like his, reputation wasn't just everything, it was oxygen. And I had just pulled the plug. When my resignation hit his inbox, the calls started. Angry at first, demanding, then begging, then breaking. Without my admiration, he collapsed. That's the thing about fragile ego. When it loses its mirror, it shatters. My revenge wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Silence is louder when someone expects obedience. Leaving him wasn't the victory. The victory was recognizing the part of me that let him in, the shadow that confused control for love, attention for safety, possession for purpose. Revenge didn't save me. Seeing my own darkness did. And if even a part of my story feels familiar, the next episode might save you. Remember to subscribe and leave a like.